In 2028, Los Angeles will host one of the world's biggest sporting events, the spectacular Summer Olympics.
Los Angeles 28.
In preparation for the event, the United States is taking on an ambitious project to connect Las Vegas in Nevada with Rancho Cucamonga, just east of Los Angeles in California. Hey, I'm your host Regis, and yes, you heard that right. The US is taking yet another shot at building a high-speed railway. But can they actually be successful this time? And will they finish in time with only 4 years left on the clock? This proposed railway, just over 350 kilometers or 218 miles long, is designed so that 96% of its route runs within the median of the Interstate 15 highway. The route will look something like this. Starting in Las Vegas, the first station will be near the famous Vegas Strip, located between the I-15 and Las Vegas Boulevard. From there, the next stop will be Victor Valley Station in Apple Valley, in the county of San Bernardino in California. There will also be a Hesperia station in San Bernardino that'll mostly be used as local rail service for residents of the high desert who need travel to Greater Los Angeles. The final stop will be the Southern California station that's located in Rancho Cucamonga and near Ontario International Airport. This location features some already existing transportation options, including the Metrolink that can be used by travelers to connect to downtown LA and other counties in Southern California. So how long would a trip like this take? Driving by car from the Vegas Strip to Rancho Cucamonga takes around 3 hours 40 minutes, and that's in good traffic. With the Vegas high-speed train going more than 320 kilometers or almost 200 miles per hour, the same trip will take just 2 hours and 10 minutes. If completed, Brightline West will be the country's first true high-speed passenger rail. So how did this idea come to be in the first place? The states of Nevada and California have long been trying to build a high-speed rail line between them. Back in the 1990s, state politicians proposed a maglev train line connecting Las Vegas with Anaheim in Orange County, California. In 2005, a company called Desert Express, who would later change their name to Express West, was established to develop, construct, and own this high-speed railway project. Federal funding, however, was never allocated, and an environmental impact study was never even completed. As a result, this rail route never got off the ground. But connecting these two popular Southern American states by high-speed train has never fully been put to bed. In 2018, Brightline, the intercity passenger railroad company that operates in Florida, acquired Express West. A year later, under yet another new name called Brightline West, the company announced that they were planning the construction of a non-maglev, non-stop route between Vegas in Nevada and Victor Valley in Southern California. According to Brightline West, these fast-speed trains will be all-electric, zero emissions. The trains will use what's called an overhead catenary system to provide a steady and consistent supply of clean power. This clean power will be bought from the large solar field farms in the Nevada desert. This would make a train trip from wild Vegas to sunny California a much greener option than either flying or traveling by car. It's estimated that about 50 million trips happen between these two states on a yearly basis, with 85% of those done by car. Brightline West hopes that their train could potentially reduce car traffic on this route by more than 1.1 billion kilometers, or around 700 million vehicle miles every year. In doing that, they could cut carbon emissions by as much as 400,000 metric tons each year. The company also hopes that their train could help serve people in the surrounding areas who can't afford to relocate closer to work opportunities or drive to and back from work for hours every day. Not only is this greener carbon-cutting railway part of Nevada and California's plan to reduce their climate impacts, but it'll also make traveling between these two states easier. For instance, in July of 2024, a truck carrying lithium-ion batteries crashed and caught fire on the Interstate 15, causing a massive traffic jam and a shutdown of a section for almost 2 whole days. More broadly, providing a good alternative route for people traveling between Vegas and Southern California could make a big difference here. So, what will these trains look like on the inside? Passengers traveling on this 7-car train will be able to access Wi-Fi for free and have pretty stylish seats as well. Premium cars will also be more spacious, and the company also plans to have a bar and party car. These trains will be built by Siemens Mobility in 2026, in a factory that they're building in upstate New York. The question, of course, begs to be asked though. With the Summer Olympics less than 4 years away, how far along are they in actually building this impressive high-speed railway? Construction of the track and its overhead line officially began in April 2024, and Brightline West expects it to be fully finished in the next 4 years, hopefully in time to serve those hyped-up Olympic fans. This, of course, will be good for tourism, as spectators flying into Los Angeles for the games can then easily hop on the train in Rancho Cucamonga to go and spend a day or two in Las Vegas. So far, construction crews have been busy in California, mostly in the Mojave Desert between Hesperia and Mountain Pass. In early October of 2024, crews were assigned to 7 sites along the I-15 in southern Nevada, where they did survey work and geotechnical borings to analyze the soil along the train route. This Vegas to Southern California line will require the construction of more than 160 structures, including possible bridges and viaducts. A train maintenance facility covering almost 19,000 square meters in Sloan, Nevada is also being planned to serve as the central location for all train support and operations. So yeah, there's still a lot that needs to be done here. The company, however, isn't worried about the tight timeline. They argue that since it's a privately initiated scheme and not a government one, things can happen more quickly. But how exactly is this ambitious project being funded if it's not run by the government? And what are the actual numbers that we're looking at here? The total budget of the Vegas high-speed rail is estimated to be around $12 billion. Around $9 billion of that will be privately funded, while the other $3 billion was awarded by the Biden administration in 2023 as part of the bipartisan infrastructure bill. But with a change in federal leadership on the horizon, state leaders like Gavin Newsom are working to ensure that projects like this keep going along. He recently visited Washington, D.C., lobbying to protect California policies like Brightline West, which rely on political support as much as engineering to weather shifting federal priorities. This overview from our sponsor Ground News is based on over 40 articles covering this topic, and each of them reports slightly differently. For example, Fox News talks about Newsom trying to protect against the Trump administration by making their policies Trump-proof. They're using language that highlights it as a defensive and strategic move against Trump's administration. And the Associated Press emphasizes Newsom's proactive stance, detailing his state priorities. This story was covered by over 48 different outlets, and you can see how just reading a single one might not give you a comprehensive viewpoint here. Every story on Ground News comes with quick visual breakdowns and tags for political bias, factuality, and ownership of the sources backed by ratings from independent news monitoring organizations. And their blind spot feature shows you stories mainly covered by only one side of the political spectrum, stuff you might totally miss if you only follow a few main sources for your news. Head to ground.news/mega or scan our QR code for a massive 40% off their top-tier Vantage plan. Their platform helps a lot with our research, and they'll also help you by keeping you informed. And by subscribing, you also support our videos, so thanks a lot. Now, let's take a look at whether the price of Brightline West will be worth it. The first and most obvious benefit of a high-speed rail between Nevada and California is that if finished in time, it could help serve spectators and tourists during the 2028 Summer Olympics. And yes, it would significantly shorten travel time, and that's not even mentioning the avoidance of road travel obstacles like traffic, road work, bad weather conditions, or car accidents. There's also the broader and more local economic impacts to consider. It's estimated that a railway like this could bring in billions of dollars and an additional billion in tax revenue alone. This project also aims to create more than 35,000 construction jobs and 1,000 permanent jobs thereafter. On top of that, the rail will also help support and provide transit links to disadvantaged communities. And as we've already mentioned, it's a greener transit initiative, equivalent to saving the CO2 emissions of around 16,000 short-haul flights per year. The entire project, including its additional facilities, aims to be 100% emission-free by 2045. According to our research so far, there are a few challenges here, but they seem relatively minor compared to similar projects we've covered. For instance, Brightline West has been dealing with a federal lawsuit filed by Alstom, the makers of the East Coast's Amtrak trains. Alstom argues that it should have won the contract to produce Brightline's high-speed trains over Germany's Siemens Mobility because it complied with the Buy America Act. See, while Alstom is a French company, they built a plant in the United States where they can manufacture their Amtrak trains. According to the Buy America Act, the items to be procured or the materials from which they're manufactured must be present in the United States in sufficient and reasonably available commercial quantities of a satisfactory quality. But the Act further states that these provisions may be waived if the costs of acquiring domestic products are deemed unreasonable. Alstom argues that it could have built all 10 high-speed trains on US soil. Instead, Siemens won the bid, and thanks to a waiver, will be constructing the first 2 trains in Germany, while their New York manufacturing facility is being built for operations in 2026. Environmental impact studies are also crucial when it comes to these megaprojects, but Brightline has received full environmental clearance to build this railway. On top of that, the privately funded project will be constructed and operated by union labor, so there's no need to worry about having to deal with government bureaucracy or trouble from labor unions. But the real question is, will this project be completed in time, or will it fail, like the California high-speed rail that was supposed to be done by 2020? That project would have taken people from LA to San Francisco in 2 hours and 40 minutes, but it completely stalled out. That one had some different problems though. For example, the route kept changing, becoming longer and more expensive. The project was also set to cost a whopping $33 billion, and that was back in 2008. New estimates put that number somewhere over $100 billion. We can also compare the Las Vegas project to the Texas $30 billion high-speed railway proposal, which we've already covered in another video. Feasibility studies are currently underway, meaning that this train route is far less advanced than Brightline West. Knowing this, the Brightline West Vegas Railway actually stands a pretty good chance of being completed and becoming the first ever high-speed rail in America. The 4-year timeline seems to be its biggest challenge at the moment, but such a short time span might actually help to keep the cost increases to a minimum. Of course, this rail also has the potential to further expand in the future. It's already been proposed that Brightline West's high-speed service could one day be extended from the San Bernardino line all the way into LA Union Station itself. Now, this would cut out the Metrolink connection and provide people with a one-stop direct route between Las Vegas and Los Angeles. The company's also proposed connecting Palmdale in California to Apple Valley through the high desert region, and in the future, they would be able to connect with California high-speed rail so that one day people can enjoy a one-way trip all the way from Las Vegas to San Francisco in Northern California. But what do you think? Are you in favor of building more high-speed rail lines in the United States, or could that money be invested elsewhere? We're excited to hear your answers, and for more, check out our video on the Texas Railway Project. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.